Alright guys, welcome to the benchmarking video for the XXXL Summit. I'm just going to take some measurements, do some tests, and we'll compare the results from before the conversion to after all the stuff is done. So first things first, the wheelbase. Center of the hub to center. I guess I could just look this up, but it's about 14 3/4. Autofocus would work, that'd be nice. Alright, maybe 14.5. We'll just look up the specs on the Traxxas website. Next we'll do the width from tire to tire. I got it pushed up against the wall, and it's about just shy of 18 inches, 17 3/4 we'll say. And the height, well, the top of the cab, I guess, is about 10.5. Here, I'll unload the suspension, give it the best possible fighting chance it has. Yep. It's about 4 3/8, we'll say, from the ground to the bottom of the battery door. Alright guys, here's my Summit. I have the wheels off because the first thing I'm going to test is the flex. The stock flex. I have the tires off, so the foam squishability and the rubber compression won't affect it. And I have the shocks set to how I always do, which is, well, basically not compressed at all. A little bit there just for keeping up the slack. And I have double orange on, well, on all four corners. You can't see, but so this might not be the same flex as what your Summit has, but it's just setting a baseline for my Summit, so after I do all the modifications we can see if we did gain any flex at all. So this is just purely for my Summit as a starting baseline, as are all of these tests. So without further ado, one more thing, since it's resting on the bottom of the axle carriers, I'm just going to measure to the bottom of the axle carriers, because that's a good way to do it. So here the front end lifts up. If I kind of push towards the front, it keeps it on the ground. So this is kind of a best case scenario. I'm kind of applying the exact right force just to keep everything on the ground. Bounce it a little bit, let the suspension get all compressed. I don't know if it's probably a bad angle, but it's about 6 inches, almost exactly. Any higher than that, and then the front and rear other side start lifting. So 6 inches. Just gonna measure the other side real quick just to make sure. Get it all wiggled out. Yeah, it's pretty much, let's see, 6 inches. We're going to call it that. Alright, so we're going to do a turning radius test. I don't have a fancy overhead camera mounting technique, so I'll just show you the video and I'll measure it, and you'll just have to take my word for it. So this is with my four-wheel steering turned off, and we'll do a test later with it turned on. Alright, so I put a mark there, and we'll make a turn and put another mark. Okay, so I have the wheels cranked, I put a little mark, and we will make a turn and put a mark on the other side. almost exactly at our starting mark. And for the record, the diffs are unlocked. Okay, so it is almost exactly a meter. Maybe 100.5 centimeters. That's interesting. So now I'll turn the four-wheel steering on and do the same test again. Interesting. I was just doing that because we were shifting over, well, over this way a little bit every time, but I think that's due to the slipping / weird geometry setup, but it was shifting over on each side the same. So the turning radius should be right, and it was actually quite a big difference. So hopefully you could see that. I don't know, should have probably tested the camera better, but I'm gonna measure it. It's gonna be more than half as big, I think. Less than half as big. 44 centimeters. So first one was 100.5 and the second one was 44.5. So even the way I have the four-wheel steering set up now, that's quite the turning radius reduction. Alright guys, now we're going to test the juicy stuff, the tip over test. I'm gonna try to do going up, how far till you tip over, and then driving sideways, how far till you tip over. So we'll see how it goes. I have an old door here. I have a junky piece of plywood in the back. We'll see how she goes, I guess. Hold on tight. Okay, I guess I didn't really think this through. It's going to turn into more of a tire traction test. So the diffs were unlocked there. Now they're locked. We'll see if we can actually get to tip over, or we're just going to spin out. It is a smooth chunk of door, so we'll see. Yes, we'll never know what that angle was. We'll try this one. See if we can get up it without too much tire spinning. Alright, so that was no problem. We'll see, yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we got a cinder block. We've got let's see if we can get her here. Got the door propped up right at about knob position, if you will. See how it goes again, and then I'll measure it. So we just slip. The tire's fault, anything. So I guess we'll move it back. Try and do the test with minimal wheel speed. It'll be more professional, I guess. It's more of a tire grip test, I guess. There, I'm going to call that one a pass. I pretty much drove up with no wheel slip, so I'll measure the angle and let you know what it was. Okay, so that last successful test was 35 degrees, according to my little phone measuring sensor thing. And I moved it up to the almost knob position, how you see it here. That's only 39 degrees. So I don't know if we'll be able to get up this one. I thought it'd be more of a big difference, but it might come down to a degree or two. So let's find out. Yeah, that's a fail, so we'll move back a bit. That doesn't really count. I'm gonna call it right there. That was pretty consistent motion. We were going forward the whole time. The test previous, we were pretty much just spinning the whole time, and every once in a while jumping forward. So I'm not going to really count that. So I'll measure what this is, and we'll go with that. I don't know, not the most professional test, but what can you do? So that was 36 degrees. So the difference 1 degree makes is quite substantial. Yeah, no, we're just going to call this test the vertical climb test. I don't think you can pretty much... Here, I'll do that again. You can pretty much climb up vertical. Pretty much have to be 90 degrees. There, I just set it on the back bumper. So tipping, not really a concern. It is more in real life, but it's hard to test for that. So, we'll just call it there. 36 degrees. Okay, next we're going to do the sideways tip test. I'm calling it a tip test, but really it's probably going to turn into sideways tire grip, just like the previous test. So this is where it's set up before 36, and I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, no. There. Just for curiosity. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what angle that is. Okay, so the first test was 36 degrees, which we failed. The one you just saw was 34, where it held, and now I bumped it to 35, and we'll see if it can do that. Nope. 34. So, I don't know, I'm kind of just making these tests up as I go. I probably should get a really grippy surface, like, I don't even know. A rubber sheet would be nice to have rubber on rubber. And then tilt it to see how much you could actually drive until you tip over or something, maybe. If you want to see that, just let me know in the comments, I guess, before I get too far into the XXXL conversion. Okay, the final test is going to be the stair test. I know I'll fail. These stairs are pretty much what inspired me to do this test, because I've always wanted to get up them and I've always failed. So, here goes. 4-wheel steer on, diffs locked, low gear. The lip at the bottom is just impossible. Try it from an angle. The lip at the top, I guess you'd say. This is pretty much as far as I've ever gotten. And done.